Okay, guys, we're going to continue on with this today. We finished up with Juan Navarro in the last video. So these are just some more people that are important to the Republic. Chief Bowles was a Cherokee chief. Like we said earlier, he was a really close friend of Sam Houston, and he made lots of different treaties with the Republic of Texas. And so, as we know throughout history, that a lot of times there have been many of the treaties that were made with the Indians were broken throughout history, and this is just another several cases of that happening. They were killed when he was killed whenever Lamar ordered the Cherokee out of Texas and into Oklahoma, and so this was. This is one of those things that really infuriated Sam Houston. Now, the debt is a huge problem in Texas. We have no money. And so the problem is we have no currency. And so they issued these things called redbacks. And the reason why is because the reason why they're called redbacks is because they were printed on the back of it was printed in this reddish colored ink, and so they were called redbacks. And the problem with printing money, anytime you just print money, you kind of have a problem, because if you don't have anything to back up your money, anything of value like gold or silver or something to back up the currency, it's not worth the paper that it's printed on. Now, another situation that we have is the Santa Fe expedition. Of course, this is with Lamar still. Texas claimed the Rio Grande as the border during the Texas Revolution. That was one of those things that was in the Treaty of Velasco. This included half of New Mexico. So over here where El Paso is, that it juts off to the east, the border, it just continued up all the way into Colorado and even into, I believe that's South Dakota. And Lamar sent soldiers to enforce this claim that we owned all of that area, okay, that we controlled all that area. But the problem is that the Mexicans still believed that they owned that part. And so the soldiers ended up being captured by Mexican soldiers. They were imprisoned in Mexico City and later released. But obviously, the expedition is a total failure. And this looked very, very bad. It was very expensive. Just another thing that's adding to the debt in Texas is this expedition. It was about 1,000 miles and took about 3 months to continue. Now, let's go back to the Texas Rangers a little bit that I mentioned earlier with Sam Houston creating them. It was established to protect Texans and Indians and Mexican attacks all throughout the Texas, lots in the frontier. They had to provide their own horses and equipment. They had to live off the land or bring their own food and all that stuff. They didn't get paid very much, $25 to $30 a month. But this is the key thing, they did get paid with land grants. And so that was one of the big draws to get people to join the Texas Rangers, is that to get free land in Texas was a big deal. And so that's a lot of times that's what they wanted. Now, another guy that we're going to talk about, another character in Texas history, is a guy named John Jack Coffee Hayes. And he's one of the most famous, probably the best known Texas Ranger. And he was pretty much the head of the Texas Rangers for a while. And he was so liked and so respected that he was paid a lot more than everybody else. So he was kind of the leader, and he ran the Texas Rangers for a while. And so he was paid about $150 a month. So, um, so earlier I talked about, in the last video, I talked about their differences between Houston and Lamar. Here are a list of those differences. So Native Americans had differences on the feelings. Houston was for, Lamar was against them. Debt and spending, Houston was for lowering the debt and lowering spending, while Lamar really didn't care about it. Annexation, Houston was for annexation, Lamar was against it. Education, not saying that Houston was against education, but that's part of that spending deal. And Lamar, we know, is known as the father of education. So obviously Lamar was very much for that. So who do you think is more popular with Texans at the time? I know what I think. I think it's Sam Houston. And I think he probably was the most popular in Texas. So here is a little, just a little chart, just to kind of show you what I just talked about. I'll let you look at that for a second. I'll pause the video. You might want to pause the video too, so you can take a look at it. If you need to write any of this stuff down, you can do that at this time. So, question: who would you have voted for? You know, that's the whole thing that we want to always talk about in elections, is that maybe you agree with everything, great, it makes it easy. Maybe you don't agree with everything, and now you got to pick what's important to you. And so that's what we talk about in elections in this country, is that whenever you're deciding who you're going to vote for, you have to pick the person that you believes in most of the things that you believe in. And so that's how you decide who you vote for. Are you ever going to agree with everything that the person does or says or believes in? Probably not. But you have to believe it, or you have to vote for the one that you believe the most in. So Sam Houston is going to be reelected in 1841, and he's going to serve another term from 1841 to 1844. He works towards decreasing the debt. He works to change the relationship with the Indians and wants to develop a peaceful Indian policy. He still wanted Texas to be annexed, and he's still going to work for that. So Texas still had conflicts with Mexico, and this is one of the big stumbling blocks to get Texas annexed, is that the United States doesn't want to anger Mexico and really doesn't want to have to fight with Mexico over Texas. All right, so this is whenever it starts getting serious between Texas and Mexico. So the Mexicans come up and attack San Antonio in September of 1842. So the Texans will come back and attack the Mexicans at Salado Creek, okay, which is down south. The Mexicans retreat, but take some of the Texans prisoners. And so this is building up into something very serious. President Houston orders his General Somerville, and the Texas militia to go down. Militia is just an organized fighting group, not necessarily an army, but normally it's volunteers, to go down to the Rio Grande to recapture the prisoners. But we didn't have enough troops. We didn't have enough volunteers to defeat the Mexicans. 300, they were told, and the other thing is they were told not to really go into Mexico, not cross the Rio Grande. But they don't listen. And 300 men disobey and invade Mexico at the small town of Mier. And because they needed supplies, and so they were going to go into Mier and get the supplies that they needed. But there were 3,000 Mexican soldiers waiting for them. So as you can probably tell, it did not go well. A battle occurs, ending in Texas surrender. They march those 300 Texans back to Mexico City. Some were killed on the way. Some were killed during the battle. So only 176 made it to Mexico City. So Santa Anna, who's still president, orders every 10th prisoner shot. And this is not good. So the way they decided was they lined the Texans up, and they had a jar of beans, white beans and black beans. And for every white bean, you lived. So remember, they said 1 out of every 10. So they had, for every 9 beans, or for every 10 beans, there would be 9 white and 1 black. If you got a black bean, you died. They shot you. They executed you. So not good. Some of the other ones were later pardoned, escaped, or released. British and U.S. diplomats fought with but argued with the Mexicans to release these prisoners. And eventually they did, and eventually there was peace between Mexico and Texas. Now, our last president is Anson Jones. All right, we don't have a whole lot about him other than served a couple of years. He was the 4th and the last president of the Republic of Texas, and he was the one that was responsible for getting Texas annexed. And that's kind of the big deal with him, is he got Texas annexed. And on December 29th, 1845, Texas is annexed into the United States, becoming the 28th state. And so that is that's kind of the end of the Republic of Texas. And so Texas is now going to be a state. And we'll talk a little bit more later about what went into that annexation and all that stuff later on in this unit. So those are our three presidents, and, well, really 4 presidents if you count Burnett, but those are our 3 elected presidents and some of the things that they believed in. So hope to see you soon. See ya.